was quick to leave that Q probate, man.
Okay, y'all, it's about to be live stream. Just letting y'all know. It's about to go live in
Yeah.
like 2 seconds. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, I think we are live.
But still wait until 7:10 so I can send out the link. It's live now. But just give me a few seconds.
All right. Yeah, Chris, we could talk about that after.
At a later point in time today, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. You said so. How so? Like real quick before we go in live in a couple of minutes. So, which or what order do you want to go in so we can get it all predetermined? So no one. I don't want to step on nobody when it's their turn to talk.
Maybe we can go like reverse order age just to get like all the different perspectives and kind of like chronological order.
All right, I see. So you're trying to single me out as an old man. I like that.
Yes, most definitely.
I like that, Lee. I like that, man.
Good evening. Oh, well, we should still wait till 10 so Skylar can send out the.
Right. Don't want to jump the gun.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna start here. Yeah, bro, you old, bro. You like 23, 24?
The elder, yeah, I just turned 24 last month.
Okay.
Yeah, man, elder statesman.
It's a 3-year difference, and then Devon a year younger, and Roman 2, 3, 2. No, Roman,
What?
you just graduated?
Yeah, I like just graduated
Okay, so
Saturday.
2 from Devon, 3 from me. Yeah, okay. Okay, well, congratulations, bro.
Man, I remember when we all had little heads and big bodies.
I'm saying.
Little head, big body, and then big body, little head, just phases.
I mean, it's almost time though.
Man, we got full beards now. Man.
And bills.
Full beards, long hair, dreadlocks, taller than an oak tree.
Yeah.
Man.
Okay, cool. Right.
Is it gonna be us 4 or us 5?
Just us 4.
Okay.
All right. I think we should go ahead and start. So, good evening, everybody. This is our second part to our transition to adulthood, I guess, event, community thing, outreach. I myself am Malik Jenkins. I'll let the rest of the panel introduce themselves.
I'm Christopher Young.
Roman Adams.
Can you hear me?
Mhm.
My name is Devon Brown.
And we're just here this evening because we want to give a very impactful male perspective on transitioning to adulthood. And in doing so, we thought of two things, kind of a more panel structured time and then just a tips and advice time. So to start off with the first question, just upon reflecting on your time in school, whether it had been from elementary school or through high school or even higher education, what did or what do you want to be? And I can just start off in elementary school and up. I really wanted to be an astronomer. I didn't know much about it. I just know I like looking at the sky. But once I actually focused on the severity of like what will life look like after I graduate high school, I looked into things I was good at. I always had a lot of love for animals. So after that, I decided that I wanted to be a veterinarian, and I'm currently pursuing that at K-State, and I have a little bit of time left. So
All right, I'll go. For me, in elementary school, I wanted to be a cop. I feel like half of us all wanted to be cops growing up, or firemen, or drove an ambulance or something like that. But getting into high school, I promised I wanted to sing all day. I wanted to be just a professional singer. I got in the choir, just wanted to sing all the time. And then got to junior college, found a got good college choir at the junior college, and I really just wanted to pursue that all the time. But at this point in time, just thinking about business, that is what inspires me and interests me at this been for the last year or so, business. So I'm just pursuing business and also finances on my own time, studying and just learning more knowledge about finances. That's where the lane I'm in right now.
Since high school, I started playing sports very young. So, and I came from my mother. She wasn't able to finish her dreams of pursuing sports and going somewhere with that. So, kind of from a young age, I just decided like no matter what I was gonna do in life, it was gonna be something around basketball. And then I say when it really hit is when my first year in college, right before my first game, I had got injured. I injured my left knee. So like from then until I had surgery, and then leading back to I say a year from that, like my whole recovery, I really switched my perspective. It was going to be dealing with basketball, but it was like more so like psychology and like the brain, like and how you move after you get injured, like just the precautions that people take after they get injured. So I really got into general psychology, sports psychology, anything to do with like that mindset after you get injured, because it's like it's a full 360 when you get injured. Everything just changes, like how you move, how you think, like just taking like the extra precautions when you get on that basketball. Like the first time playing basketball when you get injured, that was the most scariest thing to me, because I haven't. I sat out a whole year since I got injured, so it was sitting back watching others play ball, watching how the game really is from the sidelines. That was really like a turning point. So now I pursue general psychology, and my minor is in sports psychology. So hopefully that'll help me with some as well.
Um, Elementary school, I always wanted to work in the medical field. Like I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do in the medical field. I just always knew I wanted to work somewhere in the medical field. And then I got to high school, and like junior, senior year, it hit me that I should probably like narrow it down because there's a lot of options in the medical field to work in. And I decided I wanted to work as a radiologist, radiology technology. So now that is what I'm going to college for. So
That's cool. I like how it always changes. You had different parts of your life, always different pieces of growth. In every circumstance that you face. But so then I mean, my next question would be, I guess looking at now, more of a reflecting question again would be, how important has prayer been in your life?
I'll say prayer has been like significant since I graduated. It really seemed like most of the stuff is I'll say most, like half of the stuff that really went on after I got injured. It seemed like it's all come together. That was like my injury. I feel like now that I look back, is like it's a more of a minor setback for like that comeback that's gonna hit even harder. And like during that whole time, the prayer has been really significant. It really the injury, like the mindset, like you'll have times where you want to quit, or like you look down at your knee and you just feel like, oh, this is never like my power never coming back. Like you just feel like you're less powerful than you was. Injury, it took a toll. But even like me going to physical therapy and having great parents and grandparents around me, great support around me, that lifted me up as well as prayer too. So I say prayer was like a big toll.
I would go ahead and say that prayer is one of the only things that'll really keep your mind right. Like you said, when you're going through your individual struggles, we all go through our individual battles, whether it be physical, mental, some of it emotional, and we go through spiritual battles too. A lot of the times you'll stop and realize all you have is prayer, because you can't really go to no one else. No one else really understands what's going on with you. So even if you're not breaking down on your knees, if you just having a conversation with God, just praying, talking to him about what's going on with you, it kind of relieves your stress, and it feels like you're giving it away per se, that you're just handing it off, letting God bear our burdens. And that's what prayer has really done. Like, especially now, like kid things and like young adult things are just two different. There are a lot of different things going on. So if you don't stay prayed up, you lose your mind. And staying in communication with God helps you make the better decisions when you have more, opportunities coming your way, whether they be good or bad. So prayer is probably the most important thing to keep into your life when you're transitioning from youth into young adulthood.
so throughout high school, in the beginning of high school, prayer wasn't that significant in my life. I'm not even gonna lie. I wasn't praying as much as I am now. And then I kind of got older and hit like junior, senior year, and I started praying like a lot more, and I saw significance in it. And I pretty much just became closer to God in a whole throughout my junior and senior year of high school. And there is a big significance in prayer, because at your lowest moments, when you feel like you have no one, you gotta always remember you have God on your side, and sometimes you just gotta pray to Him and just have a talk with Him.
I would agree and appreciate everything that y'all said. I feel like I would have myself, from a younger standpoint, had a lot to pray about. Of course, I didn't really take it as seriously as I could have. I used God more for things I wanted and needed, except for, or instead of giving him thanks. And now that I'm older and there are a lot more weight to my actions and things of that nature, I know that prayer is key. Prayer is the only way we can connect to God, and God connects to us through the Bible. So in that upward and downward situation, just to tie some scripture to it, I know Philippians 4:6 and 7 in a new international version states, do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your request to God. And the peace of God shall transcend all understandings and will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. So just like whatever we're going through, even the happy times, we should be able to present our request to God and always give him thanks. And he will always guard our hearts and minds. But with that being said, we talked about a lot of prayer that we needed during high school, or the lack of prayer that we did in high school. So how would you say that you stayed motivated throughout high school for some of our people who are in high school now, or for people who are about to transition into high school?
Through high school, I'll say I had my mind really focused on like taking off with like sports. So it was like through every class, every PE, everything really, just my mind was on sports. I know as soon as I pick up the ball, it's like something's happening with this basketball in me. So really throughout whole high school, my mind was focused on sports.
Um, yeah, pretty much the same with me. Soccer is really what got me through high school. Uh, it was pretty much like if I fail this class or if I fail this grade, I can't really play soccer and things like that. But yeah, soccer and sports is really what got me through high school.
Yeah, it's the same for me. I had an extracurricular, couldn't even, it wasn't sports for me. It was the choir for me. Like, a lot of time it's in the middle of my schedule. So it's for period 4 or 5. So I would really just be trying to get into, I would really just be trying to get to choir. So a lot that would get you through those classes you really didn't want to get through. But, I would say even if you can't find, some motivation, just know some things you just got to get some stuff done, whether or not you want to do it or not. You want to excel to the best you can, but you still need to do what needs to be done to get the job done. So that was what I looked at a lot of times. Is just, hey, sometimes you just gotta eat it. You don't want to write that paper, but it's got to get done regardless. You can either do the paper and get some kind of grade for it, or just tank it and not get nothing. So you might as well do your best at all times. So
Sometimes you do just gotta eat it and put up with it. Yeah, sometimes it's easy to lose motivation too. I feel like when you don't have like necessarily too much going for you, like yeah, you may have drive to do stuff in sports or just to get through high school, but I feel like to find motivation can be tough sometimes. Um, I had my friends that I knew I had in specific classes, so I had to get through first and third period just to hang with my boy in fifth period, or um,
so
band and stuff like that, and all that kept me occupied. Um, but I feel like in high school, I really started to pick up with these city mission stuff, and that definitely kept me motivated because if I wasn't doing good in the classroom, I probably wasn't going to be memorizing and studying and doing the best I could in Bible Bowl. So there's a lot more things
so
that transitioned, and just knowing that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So that was always something that's in the back of my head. Um, but another thing with motivation, like I said, I had friends I looked forward to, but I had to really learn what a friendship group was, what friends were, or what fun was, and what fellowship was. So my next question, therefore, is: do you guys say that you would have a fellowship? And if you do have a fellowship, how beneficial was it throughout your learning experiences?
so when I first got to college, my freshman year, I didn't no one really, it was hard to find people who were like minded in that sort of way. But my sophomore year, I don't know how it happened. I met a friend and he kind of just he galvanized a lot of people, and somehow he just found this just group of people who must have been hiding from me, because I had been asking around freshman year and it was the same group coming back from freshman to sophomore year. But we gained that level of we got comfortable with each other enough to express that openly and freely. We would have it sometimes in closed doors, sometimes on campus where people could see us wherever we felt comfortable at the time. And it just, it helped us to get through, some rougher weeks, some times where the classes wasn't going our way, but we knew we had each other to depend on, lean on, come in for Bible study, and you know, we can escape from that and remind ourselves what we're really doing, and like it's bigger than what we see it is right now. Like God's got a bigger plan, and we can, lean on each other as God's given us each other. So that helps a lot when sometimes you can't do it all by yourself. You need a good support group, and that fellowship helped a lot my sophomore year. I performed a lot better my sophomore year with my fellowship group that I had that we found that year. So it makes a big difference because sometimes you can just get sidetracked if you don't lock in it. If you stray away from it just for a little bit, you can go off course by a lot. One right turn can take you way off the path you're trying to go. So staying on that right path with the like-minded people helps a lot, especially in school.
I kind of had somewhat of a fellowship at the school. I remind you, I did go to a Christian college. So, like this college, like my first year, it was a real eye opener because like I'm grew up Baptist and I grew up Carl Valley District, doing everything. Like going up there, it was like we was just abiding by one thing. Like venturing off into the world, then go to a Christian college, you'll see that every Christian college isn't, I say, Christian, or they really don't have the same fellowship drive as you do. So it was really, I say it was really off and on at the school. But I was lucky enough to where I didn't really go out of the state or anything. I was still close to my home church. So I was really back and forth from my home church all throughout the college, just so I can stay on the right path to me knowing where I come from instead of trying to venture out and get into something new where it just wasn't possible for her.
I have a quick question. When you say fellowship, do you mean like a friend group or like a youth group type situation?
Good question. I'm glad you asked. So a fellowship, matter of fact, there's really a verse that will like perfectly explain it. Matthew 18:20. And Jesus says, "For where two or three gather in my name, there I am with thee." So basically, like I can have my friends and they can chill and we can like be kind towards each other, or we can be studying and pushing each other academically. But unless we're like asking each other how our spiritual walks have been, or like holding each other accountable on that spiritual level, and like not really focusing on religion, but focusing on having a relationship with God. Um, I feel like when you have friends around you that are trying to grow you in that area, that's what your fellowship would be. Now, I know there might not be a lot of those in high school, but we are all a part of KVD, so we have somewhat of some young fellowship around us. But what would you say?
Yes. So in high school, I truly honestly didn't really have a fellowship. I will admit I did have this one kid named Ryan. He was in my seminar class, and he will always invite me to like youth groups and like just like those type of activities and stuff. I think he was like the only kid I really did talk to in high school about my relationship with God. But yeah, rather than that, I honestly didn't really have like a big group of people that I would talk to about my uh, Christian life.
I feel it. Yeah, it's definitely very scarce. But I mean, just like the verse said, for where two or three gather in my name. So like it really doesn't have to be too many people. Um, Even though you're out of high school now, if you were given the opportunity once truly understanding fellowship, I'm sure you would have got in there more and dived deeper with that friend. But I'm glad that you had that friend. Um, and these next two questions, which will be our last two questions, are kind of more for the older audience. So, Roman, with you not having much experience with college. I hope that you listen to this because now we're just giving gems to you. So what are some things that you guys would tell a first generation college student?
One, really, to me, what I think the most important thing is like you more so you don't have to be in sports, but like as soon as you get to college, as soon as you get comfortable, you may get comfortable earlier or later, but like so when college starts, just start like just get on your stuff as soon as it happens. Don't wait till the second month or the third month, or don't wait till second semester. Soon as first semester hits, just start on your stuff, seeing what your college teachers talking about in class. Don't be afraid to ask questions. I promise you, you may have one hard time where it's just like you in college, you stuck on just one class or one assignment, and you're really like when you get comfortable, say like second semester, you really start seeing that okay, it's okay to ask questions to your teachers. It's okay to ask questions to even people that work in the admissions office or wherever. They may know a little bit about what you're talking about, but it don't matter who in college. They don't just ask questions. That was my biggest thing. I had I had learned that late, like second semester. I was like just stuck on one thing. It was hard because I'm going back to school regularly off after I got injured. So when I started healing a little bit, I was coming back to school. I was stuck, and my coach had told me he had planted that in my mind. He was like, questions don't hurt anybody but yourself. If you keep just to ask questions, that'll help you do anything.
You said for because you get the questions again. You said first generations, and then the what
Oh,
was the
well,
second part you want to answer?
well, just for right now, the second question will come later. But for right now, just what would you tell a first gen?
Okay, I'll do like first gen, first gen, and fresh. Fresh. If you're fresh going into college, or fresh going into some new environment of learning, whatever you want to call it, you're gonna learn. You're gonna meet a lot of people, and you need to put your discernment goggles on because not everybody gonna sound nice, and they're gonna be telling you some things that sound really good, whatever it might be, whether it comes to any kind of activity, any kind of like function to get into whatever, like an organization or just a random group of people that might seem like fun or something. Be careful who you get involved in with because one, it reflects on you, it reflects on where you come from, and you show me your friends, I'll show you your future. That rings true because whoever you hang out with is going to shape you for your immediate future. If you hang out with a bunch of scholars and people who are academically, driven to being successful, then you're going to probably pick up some of that. But if you hang around people who sweep through first, second, third classes, I promise you, about a month or two in, you'll be sleeping through first, second, third classes. So if you're fresh into college, make sure you pick the right people to be around. And then first generation, you're setting an example for like the kids below you, and you're even setting an example for the older people that wow, they're doing it. I can do something better to get some achievement greater than what I've got. So you just have to know that it's not all about you. It's a bigger picture of I'm representing not me, but what others can become as well if you just put your head down and work some. But going to college and going to a higher learning institution or just anywhere where you're learning anything at all, there's going to be a lot of people. Be wary of your surroundings with the people because you'll get caught up in some things that you have no idea. It's different. It's just different. It's a different high school, and then transition to the adult world, college world is a different game. It's just different. That's all I got to say.
No, yeah, I feel you. I
It's
definitely
just different.
bro, yeah. You show you your friends, I'll show you your future. That is so true. Um, I guess my advice would kind of fall along the lines of that as well. get involved. Yes, please have your discernment goggles on early, because people will try to trip you up just because they can. But
Man,
really get involved. Like, I've been a part of my university's Black Student Union. I've been in all different types of positions, even at the Big 12 I'm sorry, Big 12 Council on Black Student Government level. Like, there's a lot of different levels to things where I've been shaped, and I've been given networks to people who are going to be able to help me in the future, not just able to, but like they will. Like,
right.
even I just joined a fraternity, Alpha Alpha, and like going to our regional convention, the high caliber of men that I've met, and just understanding that by surrounding myself with people like that here, like I will therefore be someone who can like give more. I always feel like college is, some people say college is a scam, but college is the most secure way to invest in yourself. And I feel like if you keep God first through everything that you do, like whether you're first generation, whether you are just a freshman, or whether you're going to vocational school or whatever it may be, um, your growth is imminent, and just always have high hopes.
And what you say? What you say? You said people say cause a scam, and you got you and me know that everything's a scam. Anything can
Everything.
be a scam. So one person can say college is a scam. One person can say working is a scam. You're going to work 40 hours a week and you're not getting no rest days with your family. So you gotta hush all that noise. If you
Mhm.
want to go to school, like if you want to go to school, get your bachelor's, go get your bachelor's. If you want to go get your associates, go get your associates. If you want to get a technical degree, get a technical degree. If you want to get some kind of skill, go to some sort of like get your become a mechanic, that kind of skill trade school, excuse me, do that. Like whatever your lane is, whatever God put on your heart to do, just do it. If you don't want to go to school and you want to just learn on your own, work and then do your own thing like that, as long as you consult God, you don't have to consult no one else. If
Mhm.
you and God are on the same page, you don't got to worry about if someone says you're not doing the right thing. If school's for you, school's for you. I believe in school if you want to go to school. And if you don't want to go to school, you don't got to do that. Don't let someone say you taking the wrong route, because there's a lot of right routes to get to the same place. You can go up different streets to get to the same convention center. So you don't have to worry about how you get in there as long as you ride with God. You don't got to worry about how you get in there as long as God ride with you. Now, if God ain't riding with you, now we talking about two different things. And now we got to have a different conversation. But
On
as
me,
long as that prerequisite is made, then you're all good. Don't worry about what no one's saying.
on me, who can be against me? Yes, sir. I appreciate that. And kind of just my last question, just and this is also for you, Roman, as well as the people streaming. What leadership style would you say that you have acquired throughout your, I guess your adult life, somewhat adult life?
I feel like I require like a more standout leadership only, and I say that only because like college, like in my lanes, I went to college for basketball, so new basketball team, new coach, new players from everywhere. They don't act the same, don't come from the same place. We all different, so it's like it's really like trying to put a puzzle together for real. Because we all got the same drive. We all want to win a championship, win a ring, win a something. So we all have something in common. But mine was like a new coach, same system type. So it's like now you got to prove to the coach like this is what you're meant to do. He hasn't seen you play, he hasn't seen you hustle, he hasn't seen you do anything. So now it's like you proving to the coach while you still have a team to back up and just try and just be together to the long way. Basketball is always gonna be ups and downs. It's just like life. You lose this, go to practice. Hey, this is something we got to work on. You work on that. Next game, you should be sharper now because you took the time to do it. So the leadership you really gain some from college sports, especially that because it helps you in all aspects, and you learn how to lead from a group that you've never seen before, never heard before. It's all new, so it's like you really just get sharper for real.
I would say, go ahead. No, go ahead, Malik. Go ahead.
My fault. I was talking. I was muted. I say throughout college, I've definitely been humbled a lot, and that's okay because that's growth. But I feel like servant leadership is definitely something that I pride myself in trying to do, just to like gain that trust of the people I'm around, because I know that like I would want someone to come and give to me like their time and their wisdom and their encouragement, so that I know that like I know that I'm being inclusive. Um, I know that I'm being fair. I know I'm being just. And like, for instance, just is a characteristic of God. Obviously, we don't emulate it to perfection. We don't do anything to perfection, but to try to be humble, be a servant, and just emulate some of the things that Jesus gave to us as an example through his life. That's what I say I probably pride myself on now is my leadership style. Yeah. Um,
And then,
yeah.
I would say, if you're gonna be a leader, you got to be able to lead a lot of different ways. But for me, the top priority is to be able to lead by example because I won't speak for everyone, but 99% of people watching, no one wants to be bossed around by that one relegating person who's just telling everyone where to go, what to do, how to do it, how fast to do it, and not putting in no work with you. It's okay if you tell someone to do something if you're going to do it with them, but if you're just telling someone to do something and you sit on the sideline, that's not a good way to lead. But leading by example in terms of your actions, and then leading by example in terms of just being about what you say you're about. Having your words match your actions as well. That's a quality of leadership that goes universally like recognized. If you're doing what you say you're doing, I'm gonna follow you because you about what you say you're doing. But as soon as you become disingenuous or your words don't match your actions, then you're gonna you're not gonna be able to be followed by other people. Like imagine like your boss told you was getting paid today and then you didn't get paid. You're not gonna probably want to go to work for them no more. So you just have to we you gotta do what you say you're gonna do and do it to the best of your ability, and people will follow you out of like how genuine you are, the things you do, and if you're actually taking care of people. Because at some point in time, all of us want to become into some kind of leadership role where we're calling some sort of shots or our decisions are being last ones made. But you have to be able to take other people's account like thoughts into account with that as well. So I can't just do what's best for me. I got to do what's best for Malik and Devon and for Roman. So you have to be able to include everyone in those decisions so that people will be able to, okay, I'll do what Chris says because he's got my interest at heart. Because at the end of the day, if I don't have Malik's best interest at heart, he would never put me into a position of leadership because I'm not speaking for him. I'm just speaking for me or whoever my party is. So being a leader means leading by example, but not forgetting the people that you're leading, making sure that you're doing what's best for them as well as what's best for you. Because I mean, if you can run like if you run a 40 in like 4.2, but everyone else got running 5, and you just say, "Oh, you guys can't run as fast as me. Y'all get left behind." That's a lot of people getting left behind just because they can't keep up with you. You got to keep everyone else in mind and just make sure that everyone is being accommodated for properly. Not everyone's at the same pace, or not everyone can do what other people can do. So, just being able to lead different ways. Some people you can light a fire under their butt and they're going to do it right. Some people you light a fire under their butt, they're going to shut down. So, you got to be able to lead in different ways as well. As Malik, I know you can attest to that. You meeting a lot of people that will probably be very nice and sweet to you, and then some people will light a fire under you that you like. I never want to see them again. Like it's just levels to that leadership as well.
I mean, that's why it pays to take time and connect with people because yeah, you can burn bridges quickly, but also you can definitely turn away good quality like relationships with people, and that's bad because
Right.
yeah. So
Tear down
that
trees. You tear down trees.
exactly. So that
Tear down trees, man.
that's really that's really all for the questions. Um, I appreciate y'all for your answers. And to kind of end up this time, which will probably take a little bit, but just a little tips and advice portion. There's really three kind of focuses. I want you guys to give at least two tips for. The first one with us talking about leadership styles and connecting with people and being respectful. What would you or what type of advice would you give to someone who has trouble like giving or receiving respect or like understanding reverence? Like, yeah.
You better learn it fast.
Really, I really just say during anything, just stay prayed up for real. Ain't nothing wrong with praying. You can be driving in hard rain to come where you can stop on the shoulder and just quick little prayer right there. Just chill. Just, like never turn away from the word for real. Like to do anywhere you go. I feel like college is the biggest place too. You can get so caught up in college and whatever your like extracurricular activities you're doing, like you just forget to set a time for God for real. Set a time like just to pray, or something like that. That was my main like that first semester, my first college. I was just so caught up in working and just trying to like just get used to it so quick, but it ain't nothing to just take some time. Just go. Sometimes go with the flow. But really, the biggest thing is just pray for real.
I would agree. I feel like the more you pray, um, the more God works in your life, and the more God works in your life, hopefully, the more you want to dive into the Word and see what He's telling you. And um, I've always been told that obviously the golden rule is treat others how you want to be treated, but I've also learned this last semester, someone called it the platinum rule, which is treat others how they would want to be treated. Um, I may not care about the way somebody says something, but somebody else might. And even though I wouldn't mind, I need to take into account their emotions and their feelings. So having respect for myself should translate to the respect I have for others. And that respect should be rooted in the love I have for Christ and myself and everyone else. So I would agree with that. I mean, prayer is very intricate with that.
I would just say respect is just, respect is something you just gotta learn, and I get it. Like as like all of us, everyone's been through that point, unless you were just raised to at like 3 4 years old to disrespect. You had times where some people you just didn't want to give the respect to because they talking to you crazy, or they might cuss at you, or they might raise their voice at you, or have some sort of attitude with you. But respect goes a long way in terms of just mending those bridges. It's easy to like burn those bridges, but it's hard to mend them. But respect is the fastest way for everyone to be on the same like mind and accord. If I respect you, you respect me. No one's gonna have no problems, and then you build more of a rapport that way. So you just have to learn to respect others because, like Malik said, you want to be treated a certain way, so you would like to give that to someone else. I feel like most people deserve my respect until otherwise abused.
Mm.
So everyone gets the benefit of the doubt until otherwise proven guilty of they don't deserve your respect. Which if you stop and like get out of your feelings, most of the time someone didn't really disrespect you. You just might not like what they said at that certain time, and you know, you just got to get over that, get out your feelings. It's bigger than you. Just that respect goes a long way of getting your feet indoors, getting connections with people that, like Malik says, sets you up for long-term success. Like just a little respect of a handshake with someone, you might meet them 2 years later and they might have a job for you. So you don't know how much a little respect could go a long way. So just learn. That's probably one of the most important skills to have growing, turning in from a kid into a teenager to an adult, is just learn how to respect you because you don't know what it gets you.
Yeah, I agree with everything that was said. Pretty much, respect is a big thing, and if you don't know how to show it, you gotta learn real quick. Because
So
if you don't have respect for people, you won't go anywhere. Really, honestly, and also respect yourself. Like, don't let someone really just like disrespect. I'm not saying like if they disrespect you, go and fight them or something. Just like respect yourself. And if somebody is disrespecting you or just not treating you right, cut them off. I mean, you don't need them, pretty much. So yeah.
I feel that. I feel like respect is what keeps issues like if I have no respect for you, I'm gonna have an issue with you while we're doing something. But if I have respect for you,
thank,
then it's us against the
thank,
issue.
thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. It builds it. It kind of glues everything together. So
Like
with
times out of 10, I'm sorry, 9 times out of 10, we've all been there where someone said it's the principle of the thing. No, you just don't like the person. If what comes out of your mouth say it's not the problem itself, it was the principle. You just don't like that person, and they just talked.
Mhm.
Like you have a lack of respect for someone if they just talk, and you are instantly in go mode, and you just whatever they say, I'm ready. I am ready to throw down with you. Like if Malik just say what's happening, I'm like, I ain't trying to hear him today. Like that's not, and like you said, respect will just squash a lot of that unnecessary childish stuff, which we
Mhm.
are learning from kids all the way up to adults. Because I guess you still learn. There's still some people that just get on your nerve that you just don't want to respect.
Mhm. Especially if you're ever in a position where your manager or someone supervisor who's over you is younger than you. Yes, that goes also into reverence. Just having that mutual like respect and kind of submission to authority. Just understanding how to do that. And both Chris and Roman said you got to get it fast. You just got to learn it. So, what would be some tips and advice, which is a perfect kind of segue into emotional maturity or being able to manage your feelings? We're all young men, so
I feel
we may
like
have had
That
some
is
easy, huh?
picking, like
Uh-oh.
just pick, just my fault. Just pick and choose your battles for real.
Okay.
No matter what, just pick and choose. You can, you can just feel like you're so far up at one point. Then the next point, you just feel me. Just go along with it. Just pick and choose your battles. That's really all.
nah for real. Because I'm telling you, your emo your emotion like your emotions will make you do some things you thought you would never do. Like you're only gonna scream at someone if you're really upset or hurt, or if you're like happy. That those are emotions. Like your emotions will make you do things you don't normally do. And if you don't keep those emotions in check, your emotions will run your life. I promise you, as we're all standing here or sitting here on these screens, we can all attest to times where we've let our emotions get the best of us, and we immediately just are like, I shouldn't have done that. Awful.
Chris,
Moment,
we can
and you were just, oh man, you got to get those under control, because best case scenario, your emotions might get you into like a verbal altercation. Worst case scenario, you're grown, you lose your job. Like you let your emotions get the best of you. Someone cusses you out in the line, you cuss them back out just because you're having a bad day. You out of a job now. So you got to get your emotions under control, or they will run your life.
So pretty much for all the athletes out there, there's definitely been times when you've been on the field or on the court and somebody says something or did something, and you low key just want to start a brawl. You just got to keep that in check, pretty much.
That's really, that's the main place. On the court, just on your playing field. Really, you just mad with the coaches or something like that. Look, there's been times where your close game get teched up just because your attitude, man. Like then at that point, you got to think about it's not just me now. I'm just the way I act right now can affect my whole team. So it's really just like then, like I said, pick and choose your battles. That's the main one.
I mean,
Yeah.
my bad.
Oh no, you can go.
No, you can.
Yeah, you just got to keep that in check, pretty much, because if you don't, anything can happen. You lose your emotions on the field, on the court. You can get kicked off the team or the scholarship. Yeah, you just want to always try and keep that in check to the best of your ability. And there's definitely gonna be hard times. I get it, most definitely. There's gonna be some hard times, but you just have to try your best to keep that in check.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. I feel like when you're thinking about emotional maturity, and yeah, your feelings can get you in a lot of trouble. It's always bigger than just you. Especially in the example of like in the game, whether it's on the court, on the field, like this is your team that you're representing. These are your parents you're representing. This is the rest of the position you're representing. This is yourself you're representing. So like emotions are things that we can't like hide, we can't stray away from because they're ours. But yes, most definitely being able to manage them. And I feel like Chris also said, like when it comes to school and asking questions, um, a question ain't gonna hurt nobody. So if you feel in a type of way, if these is people you can trust, then there's no issue in telling people how you feel because it can be minute or it can be on a grand scale. Just saying something can affect the outcome of your day. I've seen plenty of people allow their emotions to tear them down and make them make those wrong decisions and end up in places they were never expected them to be in. Um, it may be hard. You may not have like a lot of our young men probably don't have like a male figure to like properly like understand how to express our emotions. However, I feel like it's definitely good to like Devon always says, stay prayed up. So with my last focus, because I feel like us guys have a bit of trouble with this as well. If you guys have any tips and advice on organization.
It's not particularly pertaining to organization, but I just want y'all to keep in the back of your head. It's something this may be just for the future. Just sooner rather than later, think about yourself and like think about building a brand for yourself. That's something I learned in college. Like I was just like so focused one day and in this class my teacher had said, yeah, ever think about building something like for yourself, like something around general that will help with generational wealth. Just keep that in your head. Just like maybe sooner than later, start thinking about a brand for yourself. Just like branding things. You don't have to be clothes or anything. You can go into services. It's just like do your little research. Just keep it back in your head. Some that you think like you don't have to. Everybody don't have to agree because it's really for you to expand yourself. It's just like what do you think the world needs or what do you think you can bring to the world that will help better the world and yourself and your peers and others around you and your family and all of that. That's one thing.
Um, just in terms of, at some point, like the winging it style is gonna dry up. You can only wing it so far. You got to get some sort of structure. You have to get some sort of details, some sort of mapped out destination where you want to go, how you want to get there, how long you want to get there. Because if you was driving from, home to school, you know how long it's going to take you to get there. If this light turns, you're not just driving aimlessly. You got a plan to get there. You might have done it a lot of times, so it's muscle memory and it's just second nature. But at one point, you didn't know how to get there. You had to map it out. That's the same thing with your life. If you don't organize it, if you don't plan it out, you'll just be roaming around with no goals, no aspirations, no nothing. And that's how you become just someone just out here not doing anything, not affecting the community, even if it's in a small capacity of just your day-to-day interactions with people, you're not uplifting them. And you just become just static and you're not doing nothing. But organize your life, you'll see that there's more production in your life. If you just organize your day about like 8-9 hours of your day, those 8-9 hours are probably the most productive 8-9 hours. The rest of the time you can be like, dang, I should probably organize the rest of my time. And just getting on some kind of schedule, routine, some sort of planned out process of how you want to execute your day is what's going to get you from where you are to where you want to be. And the more you execute that organized plan, you're going to get there in a shorter amount of time, or by the time you get there, you're going to be a lot better than what you have planned on being, as opposed if you would just wing it and just Devon will tell you, you just go in there and I'm going to just shoot around. You're not going to get better. You're going to just shoot around to get a sweat up. But if you go in there and say, I'm going to shoot 100 shots from the corners, and I'm going to shoot 100 shots from the wings, and 100 from the top, and you do that every day, eventually you're probably going to get a ratchet, and you're probably going to have a really nice jump. So you probably, as opposed to I'm just going there and just, shoot the breeze and do whatever. The same thing with your life. If you dedicate yourself to learning something, it's just over time you will see that those gradual increases from your organization that led you into a more prepared day, that led you into a better path to get to where you want to be at, instead of just waking up and then just winging it, seeing what happens. You gotta get on a plan, and then just trust that God is gonna get you through that plan, because we've all started plans, and the start of a plan is the hardest of the plan. But once you get through those few days of, all right, I can do this, then organization and structure doesn't seem so bad. You just got to get through it and know that there's like a plan for the process, that there is some sort of prize at the end of the process. So,
Yeah, organization is really a key thing in life. I'm not even gonna get on here and be like, oh yeah, I was organized all throughout high school, because I definitely was not, and I definitely winged it all throughout high school. And even in sports, like when I first started soccer and rugby and all that, I honestly didn't really like go outside and practice all that much. I was mostly relying on my athleticism. But then I kind of got to my senior year and junior year, and it was just like my athleticism won't really carry me anymore. And I actually have to start working and stuff and be organized and like go to the fields and be like, oh, I got to do this, 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 and this. And then also just in life in general. I guess in high school you could really weak it and be unorganized, but it's definitely going to hit you hard in when you leave high school and go to college and go into the big world. And honestly, I haven't even got into college. I already know that I'm going to have to be organized, because it's not the same as high school. You're going to have teachers, a lot of different teachers, and a lot of homework and stuff. And you're not going to have teachers really in college to be like, hey, don't forget to do this, this, and this. So, yeah, honestly, you can stay unorganized probably throughout high school, but you definitely want to try and fix it or get a hold on it and not be like me and wait till like senior year or something to really start getting your stuff in check?
For me, yeah, organization was not one of my strong suits, so I definitely have grown in that over college. Um, and yes, what Roman said is so true. Nothing that you do in high school will work in college. It may get you by, but it's not going to work. I feel like organization is something that you have to like look at yourself, like Devon said, look at yourself and look at where you want to be. And then you have to understand the sacrifices that you have to make, the planning that has to be done, the failures that are going to come about. But just, I guess, a piece of advice would be that with those failures that come with the growth, along with your plan, like God is never going to put anything on your plate that you can't handle. He only puts those things in our way to sharpen us so that we can be that beacon of light for someone who goes through that after us, or just so we can emerge victorious in general. So overall, I think we've talked about prayer, we've talked about motivation, school and drive, fellowship, emotions and respect. So I think that's a really good point to wrap it up at. I thank y'all again for y'all advice and you guys' answers and your wisdom. And I also thank you for allowing God to have moved in your lives so much, to have so much prayer in your lives and some fellowship and just all those things. I hope that God continues to move through all of you. And if you guys don't have anything else to say, I can pray us out.
Go Jayhawks.
Yeah. K-State.
Yes, sir.
All right, bet. Well, I will now pray for us all. So if y'all bow your heads in prayer. Dear God, I come in an attitude of thanksgiving for giving us this time, this little hour to edify your name, to give advice to young men and women going through life, trying to understand how to truly transition from childhood to adulthood. And God, I know that it's all in your plan. Everything that we've gone through, everything that you have for us will all be according to your will. Lord, I lift up Matthew 6:33, that we seek first your kingdom and righteousness, and that all the things will be given unto us. We love you. We give you all the glory and praise. And in your son's name we pray. Amen. Well, thank everybody for the second part of the transition to adulthood lecture, I guess, or whatever. Deuces. God bless.
God bless.